The Team Solomon Circus deck profile. Here we're with David with his top 8 Rikka deck profile. Before we get into the deck profile, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, shout outs to my uncle for letting me borrow his car while mine was getting repaired in the shop. That's about it.
Well, let's get into it.
All right. Yep, like Patrick said, this is a Rikka deck profile. First off, 3 copies of Lone Fire Blossom and 3 copies of Rikka Petal. Rikka Petal is the starter, and of course Lone Fire Blossom gets you there. And Rikka Petal gets you every card you want in the deck, so they're pretty nice. Next we play 3 copies of Primula the Rikka Fairy and 3 copies of Rikka Princess. Rikka Princess just came out in Power of the Elements. It's a really good card, monster negate in the hand or graveyard if you tribute a plant monster. We play 3 Primula because the spell Rikka Glamour searches you monsters and searches you 2 if you tribute a monster, a plant monster. 3 is probably incorrect. You probably got away with 2, but I always wanted to guarantee there was at least a copy in the deck for at least 2 activations. Yeah, so you could probably play 2, but I just played 3 because I'm a coward. Next up, 2 copies of Mudon, the Rikka Fairy, 1 copy of Snowdrop. Mudon I sometimes want to bring up to 3. But it gets you your spells and traps, including the new ones, like your field spell Rikka Cone. It's a pretty good card. Snowdrop, you gotta play it just to bring out your Teardrop in the extra deck. And you only need 1 because one of the cards in the extra deck, Strenna the Rikka Queen, lets you recycle Rikka cards from your graveyard. Next, this is the Sun Avalon engine I played. 1 Twin, 1 Lokai, 3 die to bring out the Lokai, and 1 Sowing. Sometimes I think I should probably play this at 2, but I didn't want to because I wanted to keep my deck 40 cards. This is just an incredible engine right now, I think, because I felt like Nibiru wasn't that popular because of the sprites and tier elements. Yeah, just get you a lot of free plant bodies, get you to your Rikka cards as fast as you can. Worst comes to worst, baits out some hand traps too.
Makes sense.
Leaves plant bodies in the field just in case you have Mudon in your hand, you get interrupted. And then you just continue on from there. It's pretty nice. 3 copies of Rikka Glamour and 3 copies of Rikka Cone. Glamour is your search spell. Like I said before, if you tribute a monster when you activate it, you search 2 monsters. So you search your Princess and Petal. Princess and Primula. Cone, this card just came out in Power of the Elements. It's incredible. Access like think Layer of Darkness, but for plants. And it also gets you access to your spells and traps. Just amazing.
Best card in the deck?
Yeah, best card in the deck, I'd say. Thanks to this card, you can actually get past a really tough monsters to get rid of normally. Tribute them for cost. It's just great. 1 Called by the Grave. There's nothing quite like hitting your opponent's Ash Blossom or trying to resolve Lone Fire Blossom or something. And 1 copy of Rikka Sheep. This card used to be pretty mediocre before Power of the Elements, but now it's just absolutely incredible disruption. You can tribute one opponent's monster and take control of another thanks to the field spell. Just getting getting rid of 2 monsters like that, incredible. Next, defensive cards. 3 Ash Blossom, 2 Ghost Ogre, 3 DD Crow, and 3 Impermanents. Ash Blossom and Infinite Impermanence I thought were just good generic cards to have all around. Maybe I should have played something like Dark Ruler No More in the main deck, but I decided not to. 3 DD Crow because I thought I'd have to be super scared of tier elements. Getting rid of them in the graveyard's pretty good. 2 Ghost Ogre. This one might be a bit suspect, but I thought it'd be pretty good just to get rid of something like Gigantic Sprite or the Punk Field Spell, which I thought was pretty good.
There's a draw too, so it makes sense to me.
Yeah. I might replace this in the future, who knows, but it seemed pretty good at the event. Stop saying that.
Well, it did good for you. You got top 8, so not much to say there. Is there any cards you were missing? Do you wish you had any other cards in the deck, or?
Oh, in the main deck? I guess probably not, but in the extra deck there were a bunch of stuff. There was a bunch of stuff there I might have needed. Let me go over that right now, actually. 3 copies of Rikka Queen Strenna. This is also probably contender for the best card in the deck. You make it off Princess and Primula. It recycles Rikka cards in your graveyard, so you can get back to your Rikka Sheet and your Rikka Glamour. And when it's tributed, just summon another rank 5 or higher Xyz from your extra deck, getting you access to like Hyperiton and Teardrop. Incredible card. 1 Kanzashi. I only made this once during the tournament, and it got hit with Marincess Wave, so it didn't really do anything. But this feels like a card that's better to have and not need than to need and not have, you know?
That's fair enough.
Protects your cards if you tribute a plant monster. It can steal stuff from your opponent's graveyard too, but it's got a bit of an awkward timing to it, so I didn't go into it too much at all. It's kind of like a backup plan. 2 copies of Teardrop, just a good disruption all around. Just quick effect tribute if you have a plant monster as material. You make it off Snowdrop, or you bring it off Strenna. 1 Hyperion, Sacred Tree Beast. This you can only bring off Strenna because you don't play any level 9s otherwise, but it's a monster spell or trap negate depending on the materials it has. It can only be used on the opponent's turn, which makes it kind of awkward sometimes, but it tends to work pretty well nonetheless. Next, 2 Sun Owl Dryas, 1 Healer, 1 Gardener, Irma Seraphy Jasmine, Sun Avalon Melius, Bangalancer. These are all the cards required for the Sun Avalon package combo. This Gardener should probably be a healer, because healer's effect can go off whenever, or well, it's not once per turn, excuse me, so you can use it twice to gain life points, but I didn't have a second healer, so I've got to use the next best thing. Yep. And for the final Link monster, we play Sylvan Dance Peony. This is just a good plan B in general. If you have 2 leftover plants in the field and you can't do anything, you make this, you activate the top 3, and summon just whatever plants you make off of it. It can change levels too, so worst comes to worst, you could potentially make Strenna or Teardrop off of it, hopefully.
Makes sense.
I'd probably play a second one if I could, but I also didn't have one, so.
What would you cut? What would you cut for it?
Good question. I'd probably cut this Kanzashi, to be honest. Oh. And that's the main and extra deck done.
Seems pretty tight. No room for Zeus either.
Yeah. Often you can't really make Zeus because you're plant locked most of the time, thanks to this field spell or Snowdrop.
That makes sense.
So it never really came up for me. Side deck, of course, this changes depending on what you're playing, but 3 Dark Ruler no more. Probably one of the best cards right now. Stop Sprite's pretty good.
It's true.
Cosmic Cyclone, just to get rid of annoying back row and floodgate cards.
Mystic Mine.
True. Here's 3-Dimensional Barrier. I thought I'd go up against Tearlaments and this would really shut them down pretty good, but I never ended up doing that, so I never actually used it during the tournament. But theoretically, it's pretty good. Evenly matched. This one's a bit suspect as well, but I thought I'd end up going against Eldritch at some points, and I really wanted something to blow them away. I think this deck really struggles with spell and trap decks in particular. And finally, 3 Solemn Judgments. Like I said before, I felt like this deck is really weak spells and traps. Rikka Princess is only a monster negate, and all the other cards like Teardrop and Rikka Sheet also only deal with monsters. So I wanted something that could stop spells and traps. I also ended up stopping a tribute summon of Rise of the Mega Monarch against the Fluandre's players, so it worked pretty well there too.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. Well, anything you would change in your side deck, or?
Honestly, probably not right now. I might move Dark Ruler or something like Dark Ruler or Cosmic Cycle to the main deck just to be better prepared with the meta. But ultimately, I think it worked out pretty well.
You got top 8, so not much to say. I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.